Welcome to the Tiger Men's Lacrosse Report. I'm your host, Spiro Maricas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin. And Coach, my cohort, Glenn Smith, who has seen as many lacrosse games as anybody, said to me before the game, I think this Towson-Delaware game is going to be 7-6. Well, he was almost right at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
The Tigers win in overtime 19-18. Did you see something like that coming?
No, not at all. I mean, you look at our team over the past few games, I mean, we weren't, offensively, we weren't playing at that level. And just both teams coming in, both teams having, strong goalies and still figuring out, I think, who they are offensively. The fact that both of them exploded like that was
and
definitely.
Delaware scored just 3 goals against Maryland the week before.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Both teams are still trying to figure out who we are, offensively, but, they figured it out on Saturday.
Was it a matter of the offenses just clicked or the defenses just weren't clicking, or a combination of both?
I think I can speak on our perspective. I think our offense really just clicked. I think our guys really understood the game plan, understood how Delaware was going to play us, and just played well, played within ourselves, didn't try to do too much. Delaware did a fantastic job in a lot of different facets offensively. They got some early and some unsettled transition type situations. They got us in kind of the substitution game with our offensive or face-off guys caught on the field, and they did a great job, in 6-on-6 sets as well. So again, I thought they were a little bit more multifaceted than we were, so to speak, in regards to just being able to generate, just 6-on-6 offense.
Talk about the last play in overtime where Fitzpatrick feeds Mikey Weissauer and ball game.
Yeah, Schreier.
Schreier, excuse me.
Rolled
Schreier.
up. Again, two guys that are very familiar
Now, was
with
that
each
a play
other.
they ran in high school?
I don't know if they ran that in high school, but definitely I don't know if that play specifically. Spalding, they ran a lot of flip action and stuff like that. It was more over the top for the midfield. I don't know if they ran it down that low, but definitely stuff that they're familiar with in the past. And again, just trying to keep the ball in our best offensive players' hands. Mikey was having a really strong day. Everybody in the stadium probably knew the ball was going to be in his stick at some point, and then they just timed it up perfect. Mikey read, kind of the gap in the defense, got underneath after missing the opportunity to win it in regulation, and then pulling it near, and not bearing that. He had a little bit more in him.
Well, he and Fitzpatrick both with 6 goals in the ball game, and Mikey won just about every Player of the Week award there is this past week. What about his development now that you've moved him from the midfield to the attack?
I think now that we're a few games in, he's starting to understand, what works well for us with him in that role. It helps us be a little bit more dynamic from behind the cage than where we were before without him back there. And again, it's a different role. You're going to find yourself in different spots on the field, getting shots off. So I think he's becoming more familiar with that. The week leading into Delaware game, he just got into a groove. Like, he was really playing sharp and hitting his shots and doing well. And, I'd like to think that was, kind of a culmination of what we saw all week in practice with how he performed on Saturday.
All right, well, the season continues, obviously, and now you're 1-0. You take on Stony Brook. And I know you and Coach Gallardi of Stony Brook, extremely tight. He's going to be your assistant at the World Games. And I know you guys talk a lot during the season. Do you speak the week of your game?
A little bit, just kind of some of the logistics things leading into the game. Nothing, I don't think either of us would be bothered by, normal conversation, but, we don't really engage too much in that, during the week of the game.
Now you're coming off an overtime win. They're coming off a double overtime loss at Hofstra, so two teams coming in with a different outcome the week before. When you look at this team, they are 6th in the country in man-down defense, so they don't give up goals when they're down a man. And their goalkeeper, McLaughlin, is 9th in the country in save percentage at 60%. So you go from a guy last week who was 63% to a guy this week who's 60%.
Yeah, he had been terrific all year, been a big reason for them to be in games. And after playing 2 years ago and then not playing, last year and then playing again, earning the starting role back this year. Again, he's someone that we gotta figure out early and then really do our best to get the ball by him. Ellington from Delaware played really strong against us, but fortunately we were able to generate enough opportunities to pull away with a 1-goal win there. We're going to need to be really sharp again to generate high quality shots against their defense, but then also to get it past a goalie who's good at saving the ball.
Offensively, they're diverse. 3 guys have scored double-digit goals. What do you do to try to contain them?
Just understand where they are and where they want to get their shots from. They're decently balanced, got some new personnel than what they've had in the past, but sort of we a little bit on the defensive end, so just recognizing where the guys are, knowing who has the ball, who's off ball, how we want to support it. We really need to continue to be much more in sync defensively, be able to make better reads, be able to make better decisions and plays and be better, just better, more consistent. Obviously giving up 18 goals against Delaware isn't what we want to have happen. Fortunate to pull out the win there. So again, we still have a lot of work to do as a team, but obviously defensively.
Much like last week against Delaware, this week Stony Brook, they used multiple guys at the face-off circle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're a strong group there. They can get you and hurt you right off the X and then lead to some transition. They can counter you. So again, they can throw some different wrinkles. So I don't want to say it's going to be a bit of a chess match, but our guys are just going to need to be who they are. Our wing guys are going to need to be involved, and we need to play as a unit, which I feel like we've done a better job of recently, understanding what's going to happen at the X and how we need to combat it.
All right, game time is at noon on Saturday, Johnny Unitas Stadium. We hope to see you all out there. If not, Glenn Smith and I will have it for you on Monumental Sports, Flow College, and TowsonTigers.com. So for the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin, I'm Spiro Marikas. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Tiger Men's Lacrosse Report.